Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to our Friday night live stream. We got a big night tonight. We're going to do our giveaway. And with that, we're going to let Mr. Nathan take it away.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. I'm glad that you all can make it. We've got quite a few people out there in the chat, and I appreciate everybody coming out, of course. Sorry to hear about the fishing expedition there, Kenny. That's a little bit rough. So we've got the Crazy Scotsman on with us here for a little while. He's not going to be able to stay all night. He, of course, is a busy man. So if everybody wants to kind of talk about what they've got going on or what they've been up to or whatever, say hi.
Hey guys, Tico here. Friday night. Thanks for being here. Somebody's winning something tonight. I don't know who, but thanks for being here. Hey, Cal.
I'm sorry, I still have me muted from the frogs. Happy Friday night, everybody. Glad to be here. It's going to be a big night. We just got to figure out how we're going to do it.
And that may take a while. I want to take a second to welcome our guest tonight, Mr. Crazy Scotsman from way up in Ohio. Thank you for being with us tonight, brother.
Always a pleasure, brother. Always a pleasure.
Seems like when we give stuff away, you just show up.
I'm everywhere.
He's everywhere. He's everywhere. Well, I hope everybody had a good week. So, yeah. And Jerry 1911, I was wanting to do a shout out to your channel, man. Kyle actually lives in a fairly, I wouldn't say urban, but I wouldn't say rural. It's kind of suburban. I mean, he don't live that far out of town to have all the wildlife he's got going on down there.
Well, that's what happens when you don't mow your grass for 3 years. Turns into a wildlife refuge.
Man, Kyle's yard looks like a golf course.
No, I wouldn't go with that. It looks like a golf course that hadn't been tended to in 3 years. But I wouldn't say it looks like a golf course.
Okay. To get us started off on gun type stuff, where was I at today? Oh, McDonald's. I took the day off today to get ready for this.
Did you get a McGun?
Do what?
Did you get a McGun?
A McGun.
No. I don't think they sell those there. But, guys, my point is we need to pay attention to how we go about carrying our firearms. There's this guy. He's about probably 3 or 4 inches taller than me and probably 60 pounds heavier than me. And he was wearing a graphic wife beater type muscle shirt, okay, shorts and flip-flops. And on his waistband of these shorts that were kind of like gym shorts, he's got like some sort of small handgun clapped to his waistband of those shorts. And I'm painting a graphic enough picture for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, it just sounds like Florida.
Do what?
I said, yeah, it just sounds like Florida.
Oh, yeah, well. But the gun was hanging off and it was just flopping around. There was a lot of stuff flopping around, but we won't go there. But it looked as if you could walk up and grab the guy's gun and turn around and run away, and he wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. But
yeah,
I think I've seen somebody like that. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's one thing when you're reaching up in the shelf or whatever, and your shirt rides up. But it's another thing, like you said, when you're just sloppy and your stuff's all over the place, and that and to me that's kind of a bad ambassador. I don't know. It's kind of a rough deal. So I feel you.
Yeah, well, it was, if you're not going to secure what you're carrying, you need to be prepared for it to be used on you.
Yeah, I guess I'm sure that, there's probably crooks that appreciate them bringing that guy bringing their gun for them.
And I started watching this movie. It's called Catch 44. And I think it was a Quentin Tarantino movie, but it was a very similar to the kind that he made. And of course, I got busy and I couldn't watch it, but the wife was watching it. And of course, foul language, lots of gunfire, lots of guns and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. One thing I noticed right off the bat, Forrest Whitaker's got a 9mm, and he screws on a little small, like a 22 caliber can on the end of it. It's about that long and about that big around. And of course, the gun makes absolutely no noise. Like,
yeah, there's no shortage of Hollywood misrepresenting what goes on with firearms. That's for sure.
There's thoughts of an old soldier. Hey, brother. Tread said it was probably a sky. That's probably, come to think of it, it kind of looked like it might have been a sky. But anyway, my wife says when the movie's over, of course, I'm going through there getting ready to start this thing up with y'all guys tonight. And she goes, everybody got killed in that movie. Everybody got killed. And she said, not just killed, but bludgeoned by gunfire. So I got to make a point to go watch that movie from beginning to end. So y'all are awful quiet tonight. What's going on? Y'all reading the side chat?
Yeah, I'm probably reading more than I should be. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you one thing that I've got going on here before we go getting into topic type stuff is, and I told Jamie or sent a text to the guys, I finally got my brass. I went and got a 308 buffer spring and buffer, and a different magazine to try for the 450 Bushmaster. So I should be ready outside of small rifle primers. I'll probably just head to the store tomorrow, hopefully, to grab that. So I should be ready to get started. I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be kind of a fun thing. I've got about 3 or 4 bullets I'm going to try, including one jacketed. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. And I saw some other stuff and things I don't know anything about, right, is I saw these like different types of buffers. Like, I mean, they go a little bit more money, $7,500 or whatever, but one of them was intentionally for big bore. And I'm like, that'd be kind of an interesting topic to see the difference in operation, between that and the less expensive option. But at first I was thinking about just leaving the stock spring in it, but I'm worried that it might hurt it somehow or another.
That's why they offer different options. You have different, like if you're using a heavy powder charge with a heavyweight bullet, you're not going to get the same buffer action. I don't care what caliber it is. You might overwork the lighter weight buffers, so they make different PSI springs and different weight buffers. So sometimes you can get away with just putting the little plug in the end of it, making it a little bit heavier. It'll keep your action from slamming closed and damaging your brass and stuff like that. Or if you've got a really heavy setup to begin with, you switch to a light load, it won't cycle.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see kind of how that ends up working out in the end, but I'm just looking forward to actually getting the thing loaded up and shooting some. So that's kind of what I've got going on, and that's going to hopefully turn into a couple videos. What about you guys? Chico, what have you been doing lately? Besides, I'm sure, working.
I know, man, working and ingot processing, and I gotta cast some more bullets. But if y'all, I've been I got the Purple Rain thing going on over here, man. If y'all familiar with Purple Rain.
You warn a man before you pull some stuff like that.
Purple Rain, bro. Look, okay, I was gonna do a video, but it wasn't too interesting, and I was like, let me just tell everybody. No, I posted that on I think my Headspace account, if you guys are familiar, on TRN Headspace, like a Facebook sorta. But I've been trying some different powder coats. Oh, this is one that everybody will probably get a kick out of. This is one coat. Don't worry about the mark. That's from the tweezers. This powder came from the powder coat store.
So you got a white that
Both
works,
of
huh?
them. So yeah, I think so. I know. I mean, you know, the splotchiness that a lot of people complain. That mark is from me when I picked it up with the Twizzlers. I was gonna say tweezers. But yeah, it works.
Where did that powder coat come from again?
The powder coat store.
The powder coat store.
Yeah. The purple is like candy purple or whatnot. I seen it on a guy that I wanted to shout out, but one of his channels, but he really don't have reloading content, more like reloading equipment, mods. But I'll probably do a video on his stuff. But I said, where'd you get that purple from? He said the powder coat store. So I went on there and checked it out, and then I, processed and stuff, because I got a few different powder coats, but I got a lot of bullets. I've been working, like he said, and just enjoying life.
Word.
Enjoying life with a twinkle in his eye.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, bro.
He been hunting.
Yeah, I hunt every day.
I've been enjoying everybody's speaking of hunting, I've been enjoying everybody's knife videos. That's been kind of cool. I'm not much of a knife collector. I've got like 2 full tang knives, but it was kind of cool to see everybody else's. Seems to be a lot of people that maybe it's just because hunting, but they gravitate towards smaller kind of knives that are easier to handle, which is kind of cool.
You ain't seen mine yet.
No, sir, I have not.
Because I ain't made it yet. Kyle, one to Kyle and to Lever.
Nice.
They both called me out. Is it acceptable to only do one for both of y'all?
I would think it would be. But maybe you got to call out 6 people.
And that could take a while.
Yeah. So Crazy Scotsman, what's going on, brother? How you been, man? We haven't talked to you in a while. I know you've been busy as heck.
Been good, man. Just working a lot, working nights. It sucks, but it is what it is. But other than that, just staying busy. Started casting here not too long ago. That's going pretty good. Did my second run of cast bullets. That was pretty good. I got to powder coat them now. Just trying to decide what color I'm going to go with first. I got 5 different colors to try from. So I think I'm probably going to do the rally blue first. I kind of like that. I want to see what that turns out like. So I think we're going to do the rally blue. We'll probably do that this coming week.
Speaking of blue, what else you got over there?
What else do I have over there? I got to pick you up and move you.
You dog! You dirty dog!
Yeah, I got big blue.
Full up and running now, huh? One piece at a time.
Full up and running with upgraded parts. I'll do a video this week on that too, with all the different upgrades I did on it. But yeah, she's up and running. So
when I was a kid, Big Blue was IBM. They made really good typewriters. I made my living repairing those IBM Selectric 2s with the balls. Y'all remember those?
Yes, actually, I do.
I worked on those from the time I got old enough to work out in the real world until they stopped being as popular as they were.
I'm sorry about that. I never stopped working. That was work calling.
Far out, man. Yeah, we're gonna have to learn to turn the phone off.
Hey, did you guys catch Preacher Days Off knife video?
Yeah.
That dude kills me, man. His ability to make me laugh. I think I have not laughed any harder than that live stream with him. I mean, he has like a direct line right to my funny bone. And I always love whenever he gets a video out that I get to. Oh man.
Well, just think about being one of his parishioners sitting in the congregation.
I've got a lot of other full tang knives, but it said your favorites. Those are the ones that I love. One of them has very special sentimental value, and the other two I just use the crap out of.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing my video on the 3 that I use all the time.
Yeah, you would hopefully be using the ones that are your favorite for sure, instead of using the ones that aren't your favorite, because that would be weird.
That would be, yeah.
I like some of the handmade stuff I've seen. And I know this isn't a knife chat, but I thought these are really cool videos because we're getting to hear from so many different people. What was it? Lever Guns 5110 had that handmade. I don't know if you saw that with Antler, and he had different ones, some obsidian stuff like that. That's really awesome. I don't know. I think I got a touch of that, enjoying
Look at Chico.
What's that? Oh, Chico, what you got?
This is, y'all remember Insight Freedom's 750 sub giveaway? I won that, and Will just in time prepping. He's in the side chat. He made this, the sheath for it, and shame on Chico. Scotsman, what's the dang, the guy who made this? Y'all know what I'm talking about? God, I forget it.
Dude, you caught me off guard. I can't remember now.
I know. Prepper Matt. No, I'm gonna say that wrong. I forget. I have to find out. I forget. It's been so long ago. But yeah, they made this. This is a nice little knife, a little shiv or shank. That's what we call it in the dirty South. But no, it's cool. I gotta get caught up on those videos. I've been seeing a lot of them, but I've just been so busy.
Well, my plan is to do mine tomorrow morning.
Jamie, run down the side chat for us. I can't see how many's here. It still says 25.
Mine still says 16.
Mine says 5 waiting.
Yeah. Okay,
I'm glad I'm not the only one that mine seems frozen.
49 watching now. I just reloaded.
Wow. Cool, guys. We got Big Al, Curtis, William C. Chapin, Brody 556, James Pollard, Vanessa Kitty, Mario Mosen, R.G. Homestead, Michael Sines, 67 Rebel SST AMC, Mr. Kingpin, Larry K. Webb from Dallas, Texas, Jeremy Gunslinger, Jesse B. Outdoors, Thoughts of an Old Soldier, Bearded CB82, Seven Wonders, Kyle Lusk is in the room, Fuzz Fort 8, Chico Wise is in the room, Pamela Earp, the Crazy Scotsman is in the room, and that's as far as I can go back without losing my place. Did I say?
Okay, I want to redeem myself.
Go for it, Chico.
I said it right. It was Prepper Madness. The reason why I didn't forget, but he hasn't made a video in over 4 months. So, but he does a lot of like knife stuff. But he made this all from whatever kind of steel it is. Y'all have to check his channel out though. And like I said, just in time prepping made the sheath.
So now a lot of people speak up that I missed them. Crooked Creek Shooting, OP25 TTFD, Ambiguity, Jesse B. Outdoors, Eagle Eye Shooting, Daniel God is my judge, Josh Benware, what's up, brother? So what can I tell you? It's hard to hit a moving target.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, as fast as the side chat goes, you can't keep up.
Mm-mm. No, not actually sit here and hold on a conversation with 4 other people. I just end up sitting there with my head down reading too much. Bad habit.
Tacos and French fries. Signal Soldier 31.
Jamie, I got about 8:20 here, so when do you think you want to get on that?
We'll give about 5 more minutes and we'll get started.
All right, boss.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a drawing for the Strike Fire 2 Vortex Red Dot. Scotsman's going to throw in a cleaning kit, and I think for a third prize, if the winner is a reloader, I will make them 100 of my cast bullets if I have the mold that they need. Is that fair enough, guys?
That sounds pretty good.
Thanks, Ocean. I'm gonna throw in a surprise a little bit too.
You guys are all full of surprises, ain't you?
I forgot I muted myself when I was talking about the shotgun.
Oh,
We're talking about hard to hit a moving target. I said load your own buckshot. It helps.
man, I did that. I don't know how many times I did that on Uncle Jim's chat the other night because I was de-priming some brass and I didn't want to screw up the chat because that really does screw things up. So I kept that muted and then I'd sit over there and talk at the camera. Ain't nobody hearing nothing.
Come on, Curtis. Seven Wonders says thank you. I'll just say thank you to him. Kingpin, are you serious? You're going to throw in American flag? You just let us know which place you want it to go to.
I had to step away for a minute and talk to my son about dinner, so I muted myself and forgot about it.
Dinner, that's not a bad idea. I somehow or another
Come
keep
on up,
forgetting.
I got plenty.
I'm getting abused about the bullets, so cancel that last transmission.
Yeah. If by mold you mean an ingot mold, then the answer is no.
Curtis, right off the bat, being the smarty that he can be sometimes, he says, "Do you have a 50 BMG mold?" I can just see him saying that. You gotta love Curtis, man. And
No, we can fill a 223 case full of lead and you can load that.
then somebody else said he's got a 30 millimeter mortar. Do I have a mold for that? So
Yeah.
Yeah, my I've actually got that. My little mini muffins are 30 millimeter.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll explain to y'all what we've done. Of course, y'all know that you had to go to the Reloaders Network and make a comment on my video over there that had the instructions in it. Hey, Idaho. And we had 35 people enter the drawing. $11 of those 35 people did BRs, and they received 5 extra entries. So Chico was one of them. So he can't look.
Those odds sound good right about now.
Yeah, so we got how many entries, Scotsman?
So I got a total of 91. I got a whole bunch of 38 brass, all numbered. So, and you know how long it takes to sit here and number brass, and it sucks writing on brass. I've done it many times.
That's what that Instagram post was about.
But it's worth it. So, and it's always fun to do it. So I got it in here. We'll hold it up high so can't see, and we'll pick whenever you're ready.
Go for it.
All right.
First one will be for the Strike Fire 2 Vortex Red Dot.
Say when.
They win, Kyle.
When?
All right. We got number 73.
All right. Number 73 is Full Lead Taco.
Give him back, baby. Give him back.
All right, let's see. Second prize. Chico, say when.
Now,
Number 54. 5-4.
Number 54 is OP25 2TFD.
Cool. Cool. Very cool. Shane, I'll get in touch with you, brother. And let's see. Last but not least, Nathan, say when.
Then
Number 11.
Lucky 11. That would be the Chico of Wise.
hey, is that the grand prize?
No,
No,
that's fine.
the Taco won the Vortex.
Okay, I was
All
gonna
you
pay
get-
it forward anyway.
All you get, Chico, is 100 of my bullets. So pick out what you want.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do
Thank you, bro.
because I love giveaways and I'm in the spirit. I'm gonna load 100, or I'm gonna cast 100 bullets as well because it's no bad no to send loaded bullets. So Scotsman, pick another number.
God, you're killing me. All right, let's see what we got. 56.
56 is Willie Bullet Man.
Willie,
There you
call me.
go.
Tell me what you want. I'll send it to you, brother. I know you're not out there. I hadn't seen you. All right,
That's awesome.
I'll text him when this is over.
Man, I was afraid with the way that this thing's kind of set up over here. I was afraid that we were going to get like 2 or 3 of the same person, but that's awesome. We got some really good brothers in there. Cool, man. That's really cool.
Awesome job, guys. And y'all on the side chat, stick around. We're not done.
Far from it. We still got an hour and a half to fill.
And Jamie, just let me know where this brass is going, so because the winner gets this brass too.
Okay, who was number 2? OP.
That was OP.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Dopey?
Or do you want to pull another number for that?
No. You tell me who it's going to.
Actually, I don't think OP loads 38.
Everybody loads 38, even if they don't load 38 right now.
All right. It's been fun. Guys, I appreciate it on the side chat, but I got to jump off. I got to head to work. But Jamie, congratulations again, brother. Absolutely awesome. Many
Glad
more
you could be here
come,
for it,
I'm
man.
sure.
Thank you.
All right, Scotsman. Thanks for coming, brother.
Yep.
Brother, drive
Take care,
careful.
guys.
See you, brother.
See you Sunday night, I hope. And he gone. So I can I'll get in touch with Taco. I cannot get Taco can't read my comments on his videos on YouTube. And I can't read his. So it's really weird. The only person that's I don't know what's going on there.
One of you accidentally blocked the other one, most likely.
I was or hidden, did that little secret hidden thing.
Yeah. That would be my guess.
I've went so far as to make him a moderator on my videos.
You hit a moderator.
And I can't, and I still can't.
Well, we can hit him up on Slack or something like that.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with him. He's probably still working.
I tried that Headspace thing, and I'm 99.9% sure I registered that all wrong. So I got to try to go back through Slack, which isn't always the easiest thing, and try to figure out what Bacon said of how to register for that, because I'm sure I screwed that up.
Jamie, if you need it, holler at me. I can give you Taco's info.
I got it.
I got the bat line.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Good to know. But
You know, ever since Sorry, Kyle. Go ahead. My bad.
No, you go.
No,
ahead,
I just said okay. 10-4.
It said about you can't see Taco's. OP said he can't see Uncle Jim's streams, and somebody else said they can't do something to Willie. So I bet Tread said he can't see Willie's comments on video. So somebody got somebody blocked, probably mistakenly, probably hit something. Probably got to the creator studio or something like that. Undo that.
I'll tell you some crazy stuff that I noticed this week that I've never seen before. There was several people's videos that was not showing up on my subscribe section. Like I click on the subscribe section, not on the recommended. And I noticed, I'm like, man, somebody brought up Mike Treen. And I'm like, man, I haven't seen a video from Mike Treen in forever. And then I went and looked at his channel. I'm like, he's uploading stuff. And then once I looked on his channel, then it showed up on my subscribe. So if you're not looking at people's videos that often, there's a chance they're not showing up on your subscribe list at all. It's not just,
Special report before Scotsman gets in his truck and turns his camera on. Now that Scotsman's gone, give everybody a heads up that Tack and Brenda from AOK Forging Adventures are going to do a 2,000 sub giveaway just for him.
Oh, that's cool, man.
If y'all not familiar with them, y'all go check them out. They are wonderful people. Gonna get video done this weekend, so it's coming. Just let me Tack. Let me know how to enter. Or what I need to do.
Bacon said he can help. Hey, Bacon.
Yeah, I saw Bacon running around out there. How's it going, brother?
We talking about funny stuff that's happening. I don't know. Well, I think everybody on the panel know. When we used to do live streams, I can see these numbers fluctuate, and my comments would be more live. But now they have some drag to them, and my number's been stuck on 46 so I have to keep refreshing to see if we lose or gain any people. So, I know my stuff is up to date.
What was funny is Bacon said, "Hey."
Yeah, they doing some stuff, I guess. We'll figure it out.
There's I want to do some channel shout outs right quick if y'all can put up with me for a minute. Tread's one. You need to go check out Tread. My new buddy Jeremy Gunslinger. Y'all go check out his channel. He needs a bunch of subscribers. A guy that's new to the community and new to YouTube, Jerry 1911. He's going to be a good addition to the family, guys. Go check him out. And Andy Z79Z28, y'all go check him out. And guys, the worst part about doing a giveaway is when it comes time to do the giveaway, you want to give everybody one, and you can't do it because the Lord chose not to make me rich, so I didn't have enough to give everybody one. So that's the biggest downfall of doing a giveaway. I don't know that I'll ever do another one because it makes you feel so bad because everybody can't win. So, but I got overwhelmed with the VRs and some guys that didn't even enter the video, didn't even enter the drawing, were doing some really nice shout outs.
Yeah, it was really cool to see everybody kind of coming together there, even though I think maybe next time when one of us does one, we might want to work on our timing a little bit because it seemed like everybody was trying to get videos out today, which is kind of probably a little bit later than what we would want. But I see Preacher's Day Off coming, and I just wanted to say, brother, I appreciate that video today. I told everybody earlier how much you make me laugh, and that just straight up killed me. And in the end with the toilet paper, just
And then when he said the ketchup's getting to me.
yeah. Well, that made me want a hot dog, brother. Anyway, so I appreciate it, Jamie. I think I've done like 2 giveaways, and one of them kind of turned weird because there was some issues with shipping. But man, I just think I just like sending people stuff, like, and not I don't know. It just, yeah, I know what you mean. It can get a little bit like,
You know
you're
what?
glad you're able to do it, but you feel bad because other people, might have wanted or needed something, and they, I don't know. It's weird.
You know what my favorite thing to do to these guys are? And I can't do it much, and I wish I could, but I like to order something from somewhere and have it drop shipped on them. So I have no idea where it came from.
I've done that a couple of times just for the heck of it.
Yeah,
I did it to Phil M. Rivers, and he was like, "Did you just Amazon me?"
well, I don't think that the two. I've only done it twice. I don't think that either one of them figured out who done it.
That's the best part.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny because here our my mail service is not what I would consider 100% reliable. So I'm always like, if I get a box, even though I haven't like ordered anything, I'm always like, okay, who the hell is this supposed to go to? Because that guy will drop my mail off anywhere, so he'll do the same thing to everybody else. We all get each other's packages and have to run all over the neighborhood. So it's kind of funny when somebody does send me something that I'm not expecting. I'm like, what? What is this? Yeah, Andy, brother, you know what? Maybe I do need to send you something. You've been around for a long time, brother, and I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that comes and watches these, comes and watches our videos and comments. It really does feel like a family a lot of times, and I certainly appreciate it. There's somebody I haven't seen today. I hope his internet isn't screwed up. I haven't seen old Uncle Jim yet. Well, Jamie, you wanted to talk a little bit about rifle loading tonight. Somebody said something about, I don't know, primers or whatever. I don't know. Where do we want to go with that?
Yeah, I got a curious question about that when y'all ready.
Before we jump into that, let me just say, thoughts of an old soldier. When he gets to 200, he's going to give away his books. He writes poetry, and I've been watching his videos lately, and he's a man that is not ashamed of his faith. He signs off every one of his videos asking you to accept Jesus as your Savior. Brother, I try to live a godly life, but you're an inspiration to me to be more bold in my faith, and I thank you for it.
Amen. I'm going to have to check him out.
Cranky, man, I'm not so sure about that.
What did Cranky say? I'm away from keyboard.
Oh, he's giving me crap about baseball.
Oh, Lord.
Which I've got the game on right over here.
And you're a Mets fan, right?
Yes, sir.
Go Braves.
Come on now. Come on now. Be real. Nobody's actually a real Braves fan.
I met.
Yes.
Do y'all remember Mike Smith?
Oh, wrong hat.
Yeah, of course. Third baseman, Phillies.
This dude had calves bigger than my thighs, man.
Yeah.
I seen him when I was a little kid, and I was like, golly, is that a man or is that a Clydesdale?
You want to talk old baseball? Y'all remember Bob Horner?
I do.
Yeah.
He would check his swing on a bad pitch and snap that bat right in half. Holy crap.
I know it, but he couldn't keep his wrist healthy. He's always, he could do that with a baseball bat, but he'd throw his wrist out of socket eating pizza. So what can you say?
Nice.
Eating pizza. That's great.
One of the few guys I got to meet when I was a kid is I got to meet Mickey Mantle and at a signing event. And it was a pretty small little forum, so we actually had to sit and talk. And me being me, and being around some of the people I was around in my life, I even at that age, I knew what the smell of alcohol was. And I walk up to this big old guy, big and kind of just a hell of a lot bigger than I was. And I walk up to him like, "Whoa, buddy, you're in the bag." And he looked at me and started laughing. I didn't even think about it. Like, it just came out of my mouth. He started laughing, and we got to chat for a little while. He was an interesting kind of dude.
That's a cool story, man.
Yeah. Oh, Ricky Henderson. Yeah, Ricky Henderson was a beast. He was the man when we were kids, especially. Boy, when he was on the A's, he was an unstoppable force.
I went to a signing like that for Tom Glavine and John Smoltz back when the Braves were so hot. John Smoltz is the nicest guy you'll ever want to meet. And another guy that I met that was real cool, and he'd sit there and talk to you all day if he could, was Mike Schmidt.
Yeah, he always seemed like to me, Mike Schmidt was about the only one, and this is why, and Cranky, this is why I'm not a Phillies guy. In that period when the Phillies became hot when I was a kid, it was Kruk and Dalton and what was left of Dykstra, and it was just like that was such a bad group of guys. Like Kruk turned out to be a really kind of pretty decent dude, but the rest of them were just scum. And Schmidt was a good guy, and you always could like root for Mike Schmidt. But it was like the rest of that team just like, man. And it's funny because I'm a Mets fan, and some of them are some really hard people too. But, boy, I did not like that team. And that kind of turned me away from the Phillies, like, seriously.
Well, when I met him, he was wearing a World Series ring, and I said, "Did you win that with am I thinking about the right guy? I'm not, am I?" Anyway, the one that was married to Mike Schmidt was married to Lopez, the lady golfer, right?
I'm not sure about that. I have no idea who he was married to.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's where I met him. Was at her golf tournament down south of Atlanta. And I asked him, I said, "Did you win that ring with the Phillies or the Reds?" And he said, "No, the '86 Mets." And I'm like, "Dude, you had to put up with Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden." He said, "You got that right. Put up with them's about the right terms."
That might have been Dykstra then, because Lenny Dykstra is about the only one that I can think of that was on the Phillies. I don't know if he was a Red or not. Schmidt never was a Met. I don't know, man. That's baseball history is a long topic.
It is a long time ago, but we were going to talk about rifle reloading again until we wear it out. Maybe next week we need to talk about seating bullets and bullet seating depth and stuff like that. But Chico was wanting to ask some questions.
Rookie question. Hey, yeah. So you know how the 45 has, I'm talking about 45 ACP has large primer, small primer, right?
Yep.
I heard from some birds that 7.62 may have that. 7.62 by 39 may have that.
I haven't heard that particularly, brother, because I don't load for it. But that I wouldn't be surprised if they have a large and a small pistol or large small primer.
I've heard that 7.62 could have a Burdan or a boxer primer. That's a good way to break.
Yeah, I knew that.
Decapping pin.
Brody 556 said yes, they do. So, but I knew that about the Burdan primers because everything I buy at surplus for my AK is Burdan primers. But yeah, I probably seen that on Brody's channel or something like that, and I was like, ugh. So
yeah,
that was my only. Well, I can't say that's my only rookie question, but that was the main one.
Yeah, I see some. I see that, and what the next question on that is, which one would be better for accuracy, right? I mean,
correct.
I'm a big believer in small primers. If you can use a small primer and get a good ignition, that's the way to go. I know other people that disagree with that. I don't know why, but they do. So maybe if I was gonna, start shooting 7.62 for accuracy, which I wouldn't. If I had a 7.62 by 39, I'm shooting it because I like to blow up watermelons and stuff like that. But if I was, that's probably what I would do. Is I go search out that small pistol primer stuff. It probably makes a pain in the butt to reload for, I would imagine. Trying to process all that brass, and you got, yikes.
Yeah,
I know
that's
that Starline is making 6.5 Creedmoor with both. You can choose either or.
Yeah.
And Johnny's Reloading Bench has been experimenting with it. And like you, Nathan, he's settled on the small rifle primers and that particular caliber.
Jesse B. Outdoors says the 45 ACB kicks him in his OCD with primers. Yeah. I trade I usually trade on my large pistol primer 45 ACP stuff. I stick with the small.
Hey, Scott, Insight Freedom's here.
Yeah, I've heard from people that the small primer ACP stuff is the way to go.
Yeah. And this comes from probably reading books or older books. So I don't have the scientific knowledge to tell you this stuff's true. But if you think about it, the only explosive thing in ammunition is the primer, right? That's the only thing that actually explodes. Everything else just burns. And when you have the larger the primer, the more energetic that explosion is going to be, the more it's actually going to blow powder away from the flame of the primer and cause odd settling issues and things like that, especially if you don't have a full case. Now, a full case of trail balls probably would, negate this. But I know, 45 ACP, my cases aren't exactly full. I just think that it causes a more uniform burn when you have the small pistol primers because it allows that powder to really kind of stay closer to that primer and burn from the back to the front kind of like it's supposed to. But that's my take, and that's just some crap I read somewhere, and I couldn't even tell you where I read it. Might be an old NRA book.
Like Tight Group, because that's a very low charge, high volatile pistol powder.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Ocean, the load data is going to change. And what's funny is there isn't, as far as I know, most reloading books do not annotate large versus small pistol primer data. So definitely go with the 10% reduction and then work your load back up if you change from large to small.
That's because, generally speaking, there's not a choice. That's a relatively new thing.
I've only run into one, in my opinion, or my experience, I've run into one manufacturer for 45 that uses small pistol primers, and that's Federal.
There's a cheaper brand that does.
Blazer.
Blazer. You can find some small pistol primer, Blazer, and then there's one other one that I find that's rare, and I usually just toss them or whatever. But
maybe it was Blazer. It might have been Blazer because I got on with my buddies that I shoot with. I'm like, whoever keeps buying this Blazer stuff, stop it, because you're really messing up my rotation.
Well, hey man, we can swap back and forth because, like I said, I shoot the small pistol, so Blazer and Federal are kind of my wheelhouse, man. I'd look for that stuff.
Okay, we got a couple of questions that we need to address. Michael, let me get to the thoughts of an old soldier's question first, and then we'll all chime in on yours. Thoughts of an old soldier ask a very general question that may take all night to answer. How does one go about getting into reload? Well, Mr. Soldier, I saw one of your videos where you went to the range with several firearms, and you and your wife were having a pretty good time. So I'll do that, Kingpin. I appreciate it, man. We appreciate the flag, and we'll be in touch with you probably first of the week. He wants to know how I would say you start by picking up your brass at the range, and then start checking out data, gathering up books, and start reading books, watching videos on YouTube or the Reloaders Network. Get in, go join Slack if you have any questions, and then just just start reading the conversations in Slack too, and just soak up all the knowledge you can, and then get yourself a reloading, just a small single stage press to start with, and just a little bit at a time, man. I would suggest starting with 38 special. That's an easy cartridge to learn to load.
Yeah.
And everything else will evolve from that. So you guys chime in. You could do like Chico. You could just save up your money and buy a Dillon 650.
Well, that's definitely my take on it. Is the first thing you got to know is why you're wanting to reload. Are you wanting to reload just because you like tools and like to muck about, and and the idea just kind of appeals to you? Or are you reloading because you want to go do competition? Or are you reloading because you want to shoot more? Or do you think you're going to reload to try to save money, which usually isn't exactly what works out, even if that's where your intentions are? Then once you figure that out, then you can figure out what you're going to look for your outfit, whether you're going to need to have to buy brass to get started. But collecting brass and stuff like that's not always, that's always fine. You can trade it if you don't use it. But honestly, I think the big point is your intention, knowing why you're starting to reload. That way you can have a direction. If you just, if you're just like, let's say if you want to get into pit, you're shooting competition, or you're wanting to shoot competition with 9mm, single stage press is probably not the way for you to go right off the bat. I don't know if a 650 is either, but something that you can pump out a little bit more volume and learn the process in slowly. A 550 isn't a bad option. The Hornady lock and load isn't a terrible option. So that's what I'm saying about, like, I think that would be my first thing, man. Is if you're interested in reload, know why you're going to do it.
I would have to recommend that Lee Classic Cast 4-hole turret press that's what I started with.
That's a good press as well. That's a darn fine press because it can do so much.
All right, my opinion on that is I would start with a Lee cast iron single stage. Start reloading on something that you're going to use, because I know a bunch of people that have started out with, load masters or 550s, 650s, all that stuff, and then they end up buying a single stage press anyway. Especially if you're doing any kind of rifle shooting, they end up buying a single stage press. I would say start out with that and see how you enjoy it, and then you can move up to. I mean, the sky's the limit from that point. You can go Redding, you can go Lee, you can go Dillon, you can, RCBS, Hornady. Everybody's got a progressive press. It's just see if you enjoy the process, because it was a lot. There's a lot more involved than I thought when I started. I started with a 550, and immediately I got a dang single stage little $40 Lee press. You can do the same thing. It just takes more time. Now, if you enjoy it, it's not really work. It's the way I look at it. I mean, everybody's got their own opinion. Why am I crooked? Okay.
Yeah, I'd agree with actually everything everyone said. My reasons behind me getting a 650 was probably very unconventional to some people. And here it is again, if no one knows. Normally, every Wednesday I shoot 350 to 400 rounds on my lunch break. And that can be pretty pricey if you don't reload. So that was my main reason, because I enjoy shooting as a therapeutic thing. But I'd say the first thing you should do, if I was reading the comments, you said you and your son want to start. Get a book first. Very first thing. Get a book, go through it, read it, and see is that something that you're gonna want to do as far as the fine details, because there's some stuff that's critical. Actually, everything is critical, but it's gonna be some stuff that you may not feel comfortable doing. But
yeah, there's
that's why we're here.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no problem. I was gonna say that. Well, that's why we have this chat, and other people have chats, and that's why the Reloaders Network exists, and a lot of great people are can definitely help you out and give you advice.
It was a lot more involved than I thought. I started reading books and all that, and I'm like, oh wow, this actually matters. Because you watch this video and it doesn't matter. You watch this video and it does matter. Just spend the money on a reloading book and read the first 30 pages. That'll tell you if you want to start doing
it. Jerry 1911 said he reloads because golf sucks. I was pretty good at golf for a while. And Bacon says, buy once, cry once, buy a Reading T7. And I'll say this about those two comments, they ain't wrong.
And Preacher's Day Off ain't wrong either. He rarely is. He says the very first thing is get a friend. He'll walk you through and give you all the little stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
But the way I was thinking is, instead of going full bore with a big progressive reloader, you can get a single stage. You're going to have to get a powder measure of some sort. You're going to have to get a priming mechanism of some sort. Some of the single stages come with the small and large, and you can do it that way. There's tools that you're going to have to get anyway. Don't get a kit, because you're going to end up throwing that stuff away. And Jamie, how many of the Lee safety scales do we have?
2.
Only 2. Come on, people.
We need 4 more. Crooked Creek Shooting sent me a little small ratting press, but I refused to blow that up.
Yeah, that
society. Come on, guys. Y'all know you don't like them.
Yeah, that scale's pretty nice. The I agree that, you know, if you're looking for equipment, you know, honestly, this is one of those definite moments where I'm going to tell you to go talk to some people. Don't just buy what you think you want. Talk to some people that use it and find out. But
research.
It's all research. As far as I'm concerned, get you a trickler and a digital scale, and you can load anything that you want.
Yeah. One thing I would recommend about trying to look, especially on YouTube, and be careful of sponsored people. And look, I don't mean anything bad about sponsored people, but sponsored people are rarely going to be upset with equipment or unsatisfied with equipment that's paying them. And be careful of people giving you opinions about equipment that they don't have. Like, I would never say, you know, I think Redden T7s are junk, because I've never had one. But I've heard other people do that, where they'll talk bad about a press or a scale or whatever, and never have had one or never even used one. So those are the things I'd look for. Make sure that whoever's telling you about a piece of equipment, that they've used it, and kind of prefer for them to not be a sponsored channel. But I guess that just shows my own bias. My bias is hanging out.
Uncle Jim says, thanks for waking me up, Willie.
See, thank you, Willie. I appreciate it, because I mentioned that I hadn't seen Uncle Jim and I was worried about his internet. And then Willie calls Uncle Jim and gets him on here. That's the way this works. Community.
Hey, Willie, I'm going to need your phone number and address, so I owe you 100 bullets.
Oh, Larry, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Man, that's just terrible.
What?
Don't open that door, Carter.
Oh, he's talking to Carter. Yeah, he says that he reloads because he sold his Harley, and his girlfriend has some health issues, so he spends a lot of time in the reloading room. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's tough. Shit. Who's shaving somebody's eyebrows? I know we're having an eyebrow chat tomorrow night. I have yet to be able to find my Groucho glasses, at least that I can get here on time, so I'm going to have to improvise, I think. I asked the dog if I could shave her and use part of it, but she seemed to be against that.
We're going to be working on that ambiguity.
Yeah, we need to. I need to come on up sometime here soon.
Me and Jamie live about 60 miles north of dead center of the stage. Nathan, you live about 60 miles south. Well, we live about 80 to 100 miles north of dead center of Georgia. You live about 60 miles south of dead center. So.
No, sir.
No,
Not even close.
no.
Not even close.
Pretty
Well,
much
it's only
dead.
466 miles.
No,
Man.
there's 366 exits.
Yeah.
They're separated by about 5 to 10 miles.
Yeah,
No,
man. There's
no. Changed it to the mile marker. You get to 366, you're in Tennessee.
dude.
You take the center, and where we live, that's 60 or 80. No, 60. And you take the center and where he
Okay, look,
lives.
man. It's 100 miles to Cordele from here.
Oh shit, you're in Valdosta. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm man. It is. I'm on exit 16, so like I'm.
Thoughts of an old soldier. How close to Calhoun? I just picked my children up from Calhoun a little bit ago, and it takes me about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm about 20 minutes from Calhoun as well.
Is there a Waffle House that you would like?
Man, there's probably Waffle Houses staring at each other up there.
The one right there on 53 before you get to 41. Coming from my house, going toward Calhoun.
Yeah, Tread. That's probably what I would do. Is I'd look at Macon or something like that. But I half mine. I think just when the area is open and we can do it, just heading over to Kyle's shooting property. I mean, I don't care if it's too far from or farther from me or them or whatever. Just go somewhere where we can go shoot and have fun and be stupid. And if we can camp there that night, once the guns are put away, the beer free cooler comes out, and then
Thoughts of an old soldier's got a brother that lives there. Next time you there visiting your brother, you need to give us a call.
So primer stuff.
Just 1 minute before we go to primer.
Okay.
Y'all got to help me figure out how to answer Michael Sign's question. He wants to know, how do we figure out where our bullets are on the inside of the case?
Math.
I don't understand that question.
Math.
Yeah, that's how I do it. I take the
How
overall.
deep?
I take
How deep?
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. So I take the overall length of the bullet, and then I take the overall length of the cartridge. Especially if it's one that's having to be magazine fed. I don't like to go too far over if I can help it, and just do the subtraction.
And when you are reloading and you're not familiar with this cartridge or your dies, like you're setting up your dies, start the seating stem way up high, because you can always run it in there 47 times, but once you sink it too deep, it's done.
Yeah, that's what they make pullers for, man. I've done that more times than I can count. Screwed up. I've got a Hornady die. It's like a cowboy action die for 38, 357, and I have deep-seated more daggum bullets with that thing. That is the biggest pain in the butt I have for setting up, man. The way it crimps and the way the bullet seating plug works in it, it's just yikes.
Willie's a long way from Calhoun.
Yeah, he is, man. He's a couple hours, ain't he?
Yeah, Willie, I looked up your address the other night, just messing around. I was in maps trying to figure out how far away something was. And
28 to 32, I would say.
I did maps from my house to his house, and it was 1 day and 7 hours. Unless you go down I-10 instead of 40, then it's 1 day and 8 hours.
I'd go down. It's easier.
That'd be a long drive. That would be a long drive.
I'd go down 10.
I've never drove west.
From New Mexico in 22 and a half hours.
Yeah, I've never driven west. When I was living in St. Louis, I'd drive east all the time. I mean, I flew west. I just never drove there. And it seems like it would be terrible. Like the furthest west I ever drove was most of the way through Kansas, and it was just offensively bad drive.
Oh, Kansas is terrible. That's 498 miles of nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like when I drove through, drove through Oklahoma and different stuff, it's the same daggum way, man. Out there in the plains, it's called the plains. There's nothing there.
There's a city in the middle of Oklahoma. There's nothing in the middle of Kansas. You got Kansas City on this end and Topeka on this end.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
Can I give Michael a quick demonstration of what you guys were talking about?
Yes, sir.
Take your caliper. Seat your bullet to the proper cartridge overall length. This one just happens to be seated on the crimp groove right there. Yeah, I know where that is. Thoughts of an old soldier. Okay, so this overall length is 3.206. Do it like that. 3.206. So then you take an extra bullet and measure it. And you get 1.31819. I don't know how y'all can see this. It's kind of backwards. 1.318. Yep. So then you just subtract 1.318 from whatever I said that was. And then you take an empty case and you have this little slide on the end of your calipers. And so you would put this down to the difference. Say the difference is that much. That's where your bullet is. That's where your bullet stops. So if you're doing, I think what he's getting at is, I told him Trail Boss, he's doing cowboy loads and 45 Colt. And Bacon's out there. If he's still out there, he can chime in and tell you how to do that better than I can. But yeah, I've heard y'all say
there's a lot of black powder reloading too, or a lot of black powder shooting. Is you talking about black powder or smokeless powder? Because those are two different animals. Michael, you need to chime up about that because I know you do a lot of black powder. It's totally different. I don't want you to get hurt.
Ladies and gentlemen, always follow the reloading manual recommendations. Just a public service announcement.
Unless you do like I was doing and there's no data for the powder you want to use in the cartridge.
Ladies and gentlemen, never follow our advice directly.
Oh,
yeah, load them up best you can and get that friend that preacher was talking about. You let him shoot the first round.
Tie that stuff to a tree or a car tire. Oh, man.
Yeah, Andy's got it right. When all else fails, read the instructions. Why are men like that? Is it all men or is it just men in my family that have to fail at putting together the Christmas toy on Christmas Eve before you get the instructions out?
I think.
Hey, Michael signs, options shown may not be available for your vehicle. See dealer for details.
I think it depends, man, because see, if I buy a new television, I'm not going to read the instructions. I'm going to fiddle fart around with it, and then 3 years later find out that I can actually do something that I've been wanting to do for 3 years. But if I'm going to work on something, or I'm going to build something, or I'm reading instructions. But then again, you got to remember, I was trained as an aircraft mechanic, so I'm perfectly comfortable with having the instructions. But if those things are more than like 3 pages, nah, you're all right. You can keep that.
Uncle Jim said manuals suck. Loads of Bacon said that you want no air gap in with black powder. And he's got some the donuts,
Trail Boss.
Trail Boss, yeah. And I told him what basically Nathan told me is you got to be careful not to crush that stuff. So
don't break the donuts and you're good to go.
Can you have an air gap in?
Well, he's talking about black powder as well. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but
black powder's kind of like Trail Boss.
Well, Trail Boss, you can have an air gap. It doesn't care. That's just showing you what your max load is, right? You can have now, if you look at some of the Trail Boss load data, which is really, in my opinion, lacking, they don't want you to get real low with it. And I think that's pretty safe. I think because of the way that Trail Boss is formulated, if you get a real low pressure, you may run the risk of an explosion, sort of like with 110 or some of those other really slower powders or more energetic powders. But that's just my take on it, man. I don't know. I wouldn't go too low with it, but it can definitely have an air gap. I shoot. I
that just gives you your max.
Yeah, I shoot like 6.2 or 6.5. I don't remember, one of the two, in my 45 Colts, and that's plenty of air gap in there, and it don't care.
As far as black powder goes, from what I've heard and read, because I've been looking at getting a 45 black powder revolver, you're going to do the same thing you would do with a Trail Boss load: measure the volume and measure the bullet, the overall depth, and do some math and figure out where you need to be.
For a round that is supposed to work off of black. Now, if you're getting into stuff that's not a black powder developed load, I have no idea how to load it, and you do you. You know what I mean? No, I've seen people do that where they're taking like 308s and loading them with black and shit like that, and I have no idea how you're supposed to do that safely. So if you're doing stuff like that that's not a black powder cartridge, you are way out of my league.
Different versions of burn rates of black powder. It's for different cartridges. You know, if you're going to load 45, you use this 2A or I don't know. Do not take this from me. I don't know. 2A, if you're using cap and ball, on a rifle or a musket, you would use 3A, and if that's why they have those different designations, because what you do, you figure it out once, it's the same load every time.
I think Willie's got a good idea on this, because black is out of my range, brother. You guys, I don't know how much you know about it, but that is way out of my range.
I do get a 45 long Colt black, or a 54 caliber black powder revolver. I do want to do that. I think that'd be fun.
Have a good night, Shane. Sleep well, brother. I hope everything goes well for you on shift tonight. Yeah, primers are either large or small, but I don't know. I think when you're talking about reloading primers, I think there is a little bit to it that maybe some people don't necessarily know. It isn't. I'd say it isn't the most confusing thing, but here's some stuff that I've heard that I think, I don't know how many new people we have, and I don't like to talk just solely to the new guys, but if your load is for a specific type of primer, meaning large rifle, small rifle, large pistol, small pistol, large pistol, magnum, stick with that primer type. Do not substitute magnum primers for non-magnum primers and back and forth and stuff like that. There are cases in which you can do that, but there are cases which you cannot and you should not. and that can cause some pretty heavy problems. So stick with whatever it is that your load data says you're supposed to use. This is something that got started back in the day when we couldn't find primers. People started trying to substitute primers. Don't do that. Don't touch the anvil of your primer with your skin. The oils on your skin can mess the primer up and make it not ignite properly. There's different ways to prime, and I think that depends on who you are. I don't want to kind of hog it up, but somebody else wants to start going over that. I've got one thing I'd say is I have the old Lee hand prime. This is the one that like everybody modeled their stuff off of. And this has been a great priming tool. I've had this for a long time, and it is always done really well. I've never broken anything. It's pretty comfortable to use. It works pretty well, and it has loaded a ton of ammo. The only time I prime on press usually is when I'm running my progressive. So if you're looking at getting a turret press, the priming function you may find that the priming function isn't the most important because you end up taking that off anyway. But some people do prime on press, and in which case, there's different ways to do that as well. What do you guys think? Everybody talk.
Okay, I'll jump in here for a minute. Y'all know the name of my channel is JH586, and that channel is named after my Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum revolver, which I am doing a good bit of loads for. 38 and 357 Magnum takes the I like Winchester. It says small pistol for standard pistol loads. It's kind of hard to mix that one up, right? Not to be confused with small rifle primers, which goes in your 223s and stuff such as that. The thing that you're going to have to get used to about primers, the majority of pistol rounds use small pistol primers. But the majority of rifle rounds, at least the stuff that I use, most of it uses large rifle primers, being 30-30, 35 Remington, 30-06, 270, that kind of stuff. The only thing I got that uses the small rifle primers is the 223. Okay. And then for some of the loads with the 357 Magnum, you may even need small Magnum pistol primers, which I use sometimes, depending on what the load data says. But I have absolutely no use for a small rifle Magnum primer, Magnum small rifle pistol, small rifle primer. Obviously, I thought this was a small pistol primer and picked it up by mistake. So maybe we'll throw that in the giveaway. Anybody needs some?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know if it'd be worth the hazmat fee to ship them.
But
I'm going to say they have to live in Georgia, or else that's no bad no.
Yeah, I reckon. Then you have the regular small Magnum pistol primers. But yeah, you got to pay attention to what you're buying and pay attention to the loads, like Nathan said. I too use I will prime on the press sometimes. Basically, if I'm using, trying to do volume, I'll do it on the press to speed things up. But the primer I use most is this one, the Frankfurt Arsenal reloading tools. This is a awful nice hand primer, heavy duty. I mean, it's heavy. I mean, you got hold of something, and it fits good in your hand. It feels good. You can squeeze it, and you can actually, theoretically, you can adjust the primer depth with this turning wheel right here. Honestly, I've not seen it make a whole lot of difference. I just keep it turned all the way in because I want my primers to go all the way to the bottom. Because if your primer's not all the way to the bottom of that pocket, the strike of the firing pin is going to knock it down, and it may not go off. You may have a failure to fire because the firing pin is, instead of setting off the primer, it's finishing seating your primer. Cletus says I can use them in my 380 auto loads. That's going to be difficult, Cranky. I don't load 380. But I got a good buddy who's fixing to start. I don't know if Mario's still out there or not, but I was texting him last night or the night before one about some bullets for his 380s. And y'all chime in on what y'all think. Kyle's got some of these, and Chico, I gave you some too. Those little bitty red pills, the 101 grain 9mm. Do y'all think they would work well in 380 auto?
They will work great. Those are heavy hitters in 308 land or 380 land.
Yeah, I agree. They'd be fine. Watch your seating depth, maybe.
Yeah,
because the average. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You gonna cast what?
I'm gonna cast him some of those up and send them to him.
Yeah, because the average 380 is like a 95 grain, typical like store-bought stuff. Those are like 103 or 105. Excuse me.
Well, it's rated at 101, but like most of the stuff that we cast runs a little bit heavy because of the alloy that we use.
Correct.
And
most of your load data is like 80, 85, 90. Maybe 95. There are a couple of heavy cast bullets in there.
Sorry if I blew anybody's eardrum when I had to leave. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Everything all right, man?
Yeah. Grown man was at my door in the dirty South at 9-something at night. I was like, that ain't
no bad, no.
That very bad, no. And I heard my son up there. I was like, don't open the door. And I was like, I did not mute myself. Sorry. So if I blew anybody's eardrum in the side chat, because I had to go up there real quick.
You good. Get gone.
Did I miss anything good?
Yeah, you missed something good today. I pulled up to the bank today beside a African-American gentleman in a Chevy pickup truck, extended cab, and on the back window, it had an outline as a big sticker on the right behind the driver's head. Had the outline of a semi-auto pistol pointed right at you, and right beside it said, "Wrong truck."
That's pretty good right there.
I need me that sticker.
Hey, you know what? I'm glad you say that. Look, I'm funny like that. Any firearms related memorabilia, stickers, I don't put it anywhere on my vehicles, because if I'm somewhere at the mall and my firearm is always on me unless I'm in a government building. I don't put that on my vehicle per se to kind of bring attention, if that makes sense.
It's screaming, there's a gun in here. Come break him up.
Exactly. I didn't want to say it like that. But majority, if you got a truck, my neighbor's truck got broken into because it's a pickup truck. He's not a gun owner. And he was like, they busted my window. I was like, where you at? He was like, at the Target. I was like, huh? You at Target and they busting windows, And but he didn't have any stickers or anything. It's just, they kind of target trucks because they say men drive trucks, men own guns. But I don't put that stuff like people have. I see people with the Glock stickers and
here's the thing. This is why what you just said. Men drive truck, men own guns. Men can't carry guns in a Target, so they leave them in the truck. No, I don't. The only thing they can do is ask me to leave. And once they do that, I need to leave. I've carried. I
That-
don't get out of my bed without a gun. I just don't. I've got multiple varieties, several that I like to carry. Some of them are inconvenient, but I don't leave my bed without a gun. And when I'm in my bed, there's at least one gun on each bedside table. And I'm kind of a light sleeper sometimes.
I see a lot of the bumper sticker that says "Keep honking, I'm reloading." I'm just like, bad bumper sticker, man. You know, you just even if the police pull you over and you be a law-abiding citizen or whatnot, they first thing they probably gonna ask you for your license. Do you any weapons in the car? Well, no. Well, why'd you ask me that? Because you got a damn bumper sticker that says you're reloading. So I
I
don't
would
know.
rather
I'm funny
somebody
like that.
get
That's the dirty
mad at
South in me.
me in a traffic jam and show up with a baseball bat, because I'm going to hop out of the car really damn quick and trump his ass, no pun intended. You still want to go? Oh, no, man. No, it's cool. It's cool. So you wasn't that pissed off in the first place.
And you know what? I'm gonna have to rewatch this because I'm definitely gonna have to, because I know y'all were talking about the small Magnum and small rifle primers, right?
Yeah, you missed a little bit, man.
Yeah, I got nothing on that. I'll rewatch it.
So who was at the door? The Jehovah's Witnesses?
Well, funny story. Last week a Jehovah's Witness came, and I was in the garage, and I heard them knock on the door, and I knew who it was. I'm just like, I'm like this, whatever, And my son opens the door, and I'm like, and he knows better. But I heard the lady say, "No, baby, close the door." And I told him, I said, I appreciate that, because they told him to close the door. This is one of my neighbors, and it's dark down here. He cuts like half of the people's yards, and he was like, my truck is misfiring. I was like, I'm gonna misfire your ass. All right, don't do that no more. You got my number. Call me. You know what I mean? Don't knock on my. It's late at night, brother. Don't do that. So I had to let him know. Go talk to him. Like, hey man, don't do that at night. Call me. Knock on my damn door that late. Sorry, I'm done. Okay, my bad.
You should have
How
went
about
full
Braves?
on him. No bad. No.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna interrupt one more time. I've got quite a few people at work watching Uncle Jim videos, and now everybody's walking around the shop grunting and saying no bad, no.
yeah, big man. That's got a lot to do with it, brother. What you have access to has a lot, has big variable in what you're doing. I won't buy Remington primers. I know Nathan likes them pretty good, but I ain't doing Remington. And there's a story behind it, but I won't get into it. But I don't. Well, first of all, they ruined one of America's best guns, which was Marlin Model 336, and anything that was Marlin when they got bought out by the Freedom Group, they ruined their own Model 700. From what I'm hearing now, they pretty much running the 870 pump shotgun. But that hurt, Nathan.
Oh, did it? I'm sorry.
Crack.
Yeah, I didn't know that was going to come through. I get tight right back here at the base of my neck.
You do that every weekend.
Huh. Didn't know. I don't pay attention to myself. I'm the last person I pay attention to.
And JCM's right. Willie carries an assault cane. Don't mess with Willie. You can't even hide under a truck. He'll beat your ass from under there. Oh Lord.
Yeah, I just I'll use what I'm not stuck on any one particular brand of primers. I like Winchester because I don't know, man. It just seems like they feel the best going into the primer pocket. Does that make sense? I mean, I don't know why I like them. Probably because I've never had a failure to fire with them. CCIs. I've
I
had.
know why.
Why?
Because, and I got the same thing. You even got used to them. Was those one of the first ones you used?
Obviously.
So you know how it feels in your press, or whenever you prime it, you know how it's supposed to feel. Because I use two different primers, and it's just my opinion. I use two different primers. I started off with CCI, and it's got like a like a thump to it. And when I used the Winchester, I was like, "Ooh, that felt too easy."
It was mushy, yeah.
I thought it was loose. I was like, that feel loose. So now that I run majority CCI, I know it's got to have that like a little step almost. And that's just my opinion.
That's exactly right. I've never thought about it, but you're exactly right. Because the CCIs they're made out of harder material, I believe. I think Nathan's told us that than the Winchesters. Yeah, you
CCI is what's recommended if you're going to run a progressive press. CCI is highly recommended.
Yeah, because I set a Winchester off in my Loadmaster. I was not a fan of that because that scared the crap out of me. And it says, if you're going to load anything other than CCI primers in this press, put this scatter shield, essentially, install this. And I was running Winchesters because my local store was out of CCIs. And about the sixth load into it, I pulled the handle down, and all of a sudden, I had to change underwear.
Well, one thing that used to drive me nuts about Winchester isn't Winchester primers. I've never had a problem with them, but Winchester used to make primers, and I think they still do, that are standard and Magnum primers. They're both.
Yeah.
And the problem I had with them is all of my daggum reloading books started using those primers. So I didn't know whether or not I was supposed to use Magnum or standard primers in this load because I wasn't using those Winchester dual purpose primers. And I'm like, that got on my nerves. And it wasn't Winchester's fault. It was the fault, in my opinion, of the load develop or the person that's doing the load development in the book, because that's really kind of one way or the that is not. That used to bug the heck out of me. But and the one thing I would say about primer cups anyway is while CCI is the hardest, Federal is the softest. So using Federal in an auto prime situation is not recommended. However, here's one thing I will tell you I've had with Federal is the Federal primer cup is just soft enough that if you have a bit of a looser primer pocket, it won't fall out on you, because you kind of when you insert the primer, you kind of swedge it in a little bit better to the primer pocket. And I've had, like, when if I'm going to try to like really, really get down and load a box of ammunition for my 45 ACP, it's like dead nuts on. Like I'm gonna go down this week and I'm really gonna try to really do some heavy target practice with it. I use Federal match and small pistol primers, and I can tell a giant difference. Like if I just use my standard primers, my group will open up an inch over those match primers. Those things really, really, really help. Now, granted, I also get really nat's ass with my loading technique too, but I notice a big difference. Hey, Meg, how you doing, brother? Glad to see you, and take it easy.
I noticed somebody else in the side chat, old Super Dave, Thorzax. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. I just want to show y'all something. This was given to me the other day.
Oh, sure.
That's a 12-gauge shotgun shell. I'm like, who would shoot this out of their damn shotgun? Because if it's chambered for this and you're shooting this, isn't that going to erode your chamber? I mean, I don't even know what this is for. It's 7.5 shot, and there's probably 4 pellets in there and a wad. Does anybody know what this is for? Is this like some home defense stuff or something?
Yeah, that's what I would take it for. I found these. anxious to try some of these out once I get far enough into my load development for my AR. I got some Federal AR small rifle match, and I'm kind of anxious to try those out, see if they do any good. And then I bought these at, I think I've shown y'all these before. Got those at Cabela's for like $24 for this box of 1,000, and it says there for small rifle. But then on the front of the box it says it's for reloading. Primers for rifle, pistol, and revolver cartridges. So these are small rifles, so I'm gonna be using those for 223s and seeing how they work. And then when I get a good load, I'll switch over to these. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's my bad for some reason. Well, we know what reason. Any of you guys familiar with the Fiocchi primers?
Never
The
used
pistol
them.
primers.
Yeah, I've never used them. I've heard they're fine, just like the Celeron Below and the other ones. I've heard they're fine. I've just never used them, but.
And the reason why I was asking because they come 1,500 in a sleeve or whatever.
Yeah, but
Something
they're
like that,
higher.
which is kind of.
They're like $46 for that box of 1,500.
That's still, well, I don't know. What are primers going for now? It's been a while since I bought them.
3
cent.
cent, 4 cent.
Because I mean, I know when things got tight. I mean, shit, buying a case of primers was $50. Before then, it was $29. At the most, 20 to 29, depending. For a case of 1,000 packs. So I mean, if it's still up around 40 for a case, you're saying 30.
It's $32.99, $33.99, depending on what you're buying.
Yeah, that's not terrible, I guess.
And keep
That's
in
why
mind, there's our.
I throw the 3-4 cent in there. So
Yeah, they're like that, And if anybody wants to know, there are rebates on primers right now and reloading supplies. CCI, Federal, Alliant Powder.
but if you're not going to buy 10 bricks of 1,000, it ain't worth it because they're going to ding you with a $40 damn hazmat charge. Why are people texting me this?
Depending if you buy locally, you don't have to worry about the hazmat, but you still get the rebate.
I was over in Columbus. Heck, it might have been last year, and there was a big gun range over there, and they were having a liquidation. I didn't know this, but they were liquidating all the reloading stuff. So I got a ton of primers, bunch of CCI stuff. I didn't get any small rifle because I never used them. So now I might go buy new ones. But yeah, so I've been working on that for a while.
I use quite a bit of small rifle. I load a lot of 223 and 300 blackout. I use a lot of it. I actually use more of it than I do small pistol. I've got plenty of large pistol sat away because I use that for 45. Because 40 still uses a small pistol, and 9 uses small pistol. 380 uses small pistol. I got plenty of large pistol. I'm just wondering if there's a difference between large pistol and large rifle because I can't find large rifle.
Yeah, there is, man. There's a difference. There's a pretty big power difference.
They put one sprinkle full of magic dust in it. I mean, is that
yeah, there's a power difference, and there's also a cup hardness difference. Rifle primers are usually harder cups. So you may have an issue like if you tried to use it might just be you might pop primers if you tried to use a large pistol and a rifle, and it may be underpowered.
I think last time I bought primers at Cabela's for a box of 1,000, it was $33, and then Sawyer and Bullet were S&Bs, however you say it, were about $10 cheaper than that.
Yeah, they're like 22. Yeah.
So Dave was saying in California he's paying $39 a box.
Yeah,
Well,
I've seen
primers,
that.
1,000 up.
Yeah.
I've seen that relatively. I don't want to say frequently, but I know a year or two ago I was seeing 39 as being sort of normal with my smaller shops. I don't have a Cabela's down here, so I mean I could go up to Macon or whatever, but yeah, I don't have that option. So I want to go to smaller shops. They're going to be a little bit more markup, and that's where they're about 38. At least that's where they were.
Well, to be fair, Nathan, I got to say that the last time I bought a box of 1,000 at Cabela's, it was right before the merger between them and
Bass Pro, yeah.
Bass Pro. So I'm sure they're more expensive now. Everything is more expensive there now.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had a cared too much between those two companies. I thought they were all kind of pretty much the same anyway. So I don't know. I know a lot of people feel different, but
Yeah, Eagle says $34 for Winchesters all day. That's about what we're paying here. And,
so that 39 is probably a California tax of some kind, I assume. Then
and I got one company around here that if you buy just a little thing of 100, just a little 100 sleeve, it's $3.99. Another one across town, if you buy the 100 pack, it's $4.99.
I've never bought primers at Academy. They have them, but I've never bought them there. I might go and check that out. That might be the easiest option. I don't know. I like to take care of my small gun shops. I'll go by there.
Well, Academy sells them for $3.99, and they don't set no discount for the buying the whole 1,000.
So yeah, that would be $39. Then yeah.
I'm
39.
sorry for the background noise, but yeah, when I went to buy shotgun primers, I had to buy a brick of 1,000 at Cabela's because they didn't break them down. I only wanted to buy 100. Yeah, it didn't happen. I had to buy. I got plenty of shotgun primers.
Yeah, man. They used to one of my local pawn / gun shops. Not a real gun shop, but a pawn gun shop. They used to have shotgun primer sleeves everywhere, like all throughout the store. Because he would go and buy other places that closed out, and the place was always kind of a disorganized joint. You'd have no other primers, but you just have shotgun primers everywhere, and he'd sell them things for $2 a sleeve all day. To you, but I never bought one because I've never reloaded. I've never ever reloaded a shotgun shell, ever.
Me either, but they're making it look pretty good.
Yeah, I just don't shoot enough of it, man. I've got one shotgun. It's a single, it's a single barrel old H&R. I've never. The only time I've shot shotgun with any frequency is when I was like 16. We do a little trap shooting now and then, and it's just I wasn't very good at it, so I just didn't get into it.
We have a skeet shoot at my church every year. That's about the only time I shoot shotgun, and it's just that 7.5, 8, number 8 birdshot stuff. Now I do have some turkey loads, and I hadn't been turkey hunting because I hadn't felt good enough to do it. But yeah,
I always thought turkey hunting would be fun. I've done turkey sitting, but never turkey hunting, and then I've had turkeys hunt me. Deer season. But I've never actually went out with a gun with the intention of murdering a turkey. But it always seemed like it was a good idea.
well, it's really fun, man. When you start getting them to call back and they are getting closer, you know they're coming, and they gobbling, man, and it just thunders, man. It's just the best. I mean, it's as fun, if not more fun, than deer hunting. And I've killed lots of good deer, but I've never killed a turkey. So,
Well, turkeys, in my limited experience deer hunting, which is extraordinarily limited, it was turkeys and squirrels. I'd sit down, I'd get quiet. 15 minutes later, a turkey come find me and want to talk to me. Then he'd leave. Then a squirrel would come over, and take a crap next to me. And it's just, you know, it was just squirrels and turkeys everywhere. And I'm like, look, when your seasons come up, you're doomed. And that just never, as soon as that happened, man, they were gone.
So when is frog season?
Man, you can gig anytime you want. That's just food
Frog
in your yard.
souffle.
Hang on.
Souffle. Squirrel souffle.
Now, the most fun I've ever had hunting was groundhog hunting. Me and my buddy would go groundhog hunting out in the farm, and that was some of the most fun stuff because you always were in end up, you know, it was usually kind of longer range shooting, and you weren't going to miss you weren't not going to get a target, you know. So we used to do that quite a bit, and that was always fun. I've only gotten one deer once, and I was 17, I think.
You got to come up here, man.
I know. I
Weekend.
would love it. I would love it.
Have we? I seen a new guy. I think Blue Healer 260. Is this your first time, or if I just been missing you? Welcome, brother. Thanks for dropping in on us. Speaking of which, Chico, you want to run down the chat room?
Yeah, I'm gonna read out from the bottom up. So we got Vanessa Kitty, Willie Bullet Man, Snow Soldier 31, Michael Signs, Cranky Cletus, Jerry 1911, PC Bullet Empire, The Big Man's Outdoors, William C. Chaplin, James Pollard, Blue Hiller 260, JCM 45, Reloader 762, Uncle Jim, Eagle Eye Shooting. I had to make sure I was not on mute. I was gonna say that was a wasted effort. Tread. That's why I paused. Willie Bullet Man, Andy 79Z28, Jesse B Outdoors, Mike Treen, Larry Palmer, Mig Measuring Grains. I think he's still out there. Thorzax, and Ocean 374. That is all that I'm reading from the last refresh. My comments I can't go all the way through the back for some reason.
I see someone that I haven't seen before, Christian Grest. Glad to see you, brother. Glad you can make it. Might have been on here before, brother, but I just, I don't see everything, I guess. Somebody just got parked? What? Jerry 1911. Oh, man. So what other things we got about primers that are interesting and or useful for other people to know?
Okay, I got another question. It's about primers. Is the 9.5 primer, is that a shotgun primer?
Hell, I don't know. I can't remember numbers. If I could remember numbers, I'd be a mathematician.
Vanessa Kitty. Hey, I see some primers that when I was looking for primers and stuff, sometimes I'll see 9.5, and I'm like, what is that? I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know either, man.
I bet Uncle Jim knows. Let's see. He said they go. Mike Treen said they go bang when you hit them with a hammer.
A Remington 9.5 is a large rifle primer.
That's what it is. I was looking for my shotgun primers to show you that it wasn't, but apparently they're not on my table.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know. It seemed funny when I was searching for it. It was like I was just looking for primers, good deals, and it was like 9.5. I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's right there, a large rifle primer. I'm sorry. Gotta read sometimes.
Yeah, Magnum shot shell primers are 209s.
Yeah, I was like, I think that shotgun primers use that triple digit thing. And Remingtons are about the only ones that, well, no, that's not true. CCI numbers theirs as well, but
There'll be some standardization on that, man, I think.
Well, I mean, CCI small rifles are 400s. I can see that from right here.
That's 500. Oh, you said small rifle. I'm sorry.
Yeah, small rifles 400, large pistols 300. the Magnums, they use 50s, like
Yeah.
350 and 450 or 250.
Gotcha.
Vanessa says she wants to hunt pig and barbecue it the next day. From what Ozark said, that's not necessarily the best idea. But
What those are say.
well, I mean, I don't know anything about anything, man, when it comes to these pigs. But from what I've heard them guys say is that those feral pigs are not worth eating. I could be wrong, man, but
From what I understand, you can only eat the females.
huh,
The males are so full of crap that it ain't worth it.
yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
you kill them to mount them, but you want the females to eat. It's the way I understand it. Ozark, tell me if I'm wrong.
I haven't seen him tonight. I think he's doing something.
Oh,
Probably
he's
out there trying
here
to.
somewhere. No, well, no. It wasn't on this chat. It was on a YouTube video.
Yeah, he's probably out trying to fashion himself up with fancy eyebrows.
I want angry eyebrows.
Yeah,
Because
I'm trying to think what other.
I want to look at him all night long and go,
What other crazy primer things? Oh, primer shields on your presses. Use them. When you have a stacked primer tube, use a shield. And Lyman, here's my take on this. Lyman is probably one of the older Lymans are probably one of the most dangerous because they put the primer tube right in your face and there is no shielding on it at all.
That's the way that Dylan is too. The primer tube is right in front of your face.
So be careful with that. Man, I'm trying to think. It's funny because we're talking about primers, and usually primers are something that I could probably talk about a little bit, but I don't know. Right now, I don't have a lot. So what else is going on? Well, shoot, we only got about 8 minutes. I guess it's not time to get into a whole big discussion. I can tell you a little bit about what I got going on because 8 minutes close enough. Hey,
Let's hear,
Christian, glad you. Thanks for subscribing, brother. So I'm going to be working on that 450 Bushmaster. I'm going to change out that buffer spring. If I get brave, I might go ahead and try the 223 buffer spring and buffer just to show you the difference. I'm slightly afraid because it is aluminum lower. I'm afraid I'll crack it if it hits hard enough. I don't think that Bushmaster plays too much, and I have a tendency to load a little warm anyway. So keeping the 308 buffer would probably be the safer way, but I don't know. We'll see. So I'm going to have videos coming up, hopefully within the next couple weeks on that. I'm heavily considering getting a membership to my local gun club. I have yet to do that over the years. I've always went to one that was down the road a ways because it was more free-flowing. But I think, with the current situation, with me not having with me being on the motorcycle and stuff, that's probably going to be the best bet for me to be able to take things out and go shooting. So really consider doing that. So I might end up having some videos of that. Yeah, that's about where I'm at, man. I don't know. What are you guys up to?
I'm casting and powder coating purple rain.
Purple rain.
I know Big Man Outdoors. He's seen it. Some other guys did it. Like I said, Headspace. If you guys aren't familiar, check it out. It may be a usable tool for some of you. Everything has a learning curve. I plan to take a new shooter shooting, and this new shooter just happens to be my baby sister, and I can't believe that she's never shot a firearm as many as I have. But she do her own thing, but she wants to learn, so I'm gonna take her possibly if she don't chicken out. But that's it for me. Be casting and powder coating, and I'm probably gonna send out some of this white to you guys. I'm sorry, white powder coat, not white. I don't want to go to jail. Yeah. But send out some of this powder coat to you guys, because I know a lot of people say that about the white. It's hard to coverage, but I think it did okay. That's it for me, guys. Thanks for having me. Big man.
Mm. Oh, I gotta quit reading the side chat. Guys, I've really enjoyed this evening. It's been fun. The giveaway was great. Willie, call me when we go off air because I owe you 100 bullets, sir. And it was great to see everybody tonight. As it is every Friday night, we really enjoy y'all being here and putting up with our ignorant asses.
Look at that.
Hang on. Yeah. I got to change power cables. Wait for it.
The pyramid of purple power.
That's cool.
Right.
Man, that's not just purple. Dude, that's like nail polish purple.
Yeah, it's candy purple.
That stuff's
Man,
raw.
that's like Barney stuff right there, man. You went full Barney.
It covered good.
Hey, when you get all them casted up and powder coated, you're going to have to put them in a Crown Royal bag.
Yeah.
You won't be
Right.
able to see them, man. People
Say what,
think
James?
Anyway, I appreciate everybody having me on. I had to get rid of the hat. Pamela is feuding with Peterbilt right now, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just worked there. I can't fix it. But I'm just amazed by this little guy. It's just weird. But anyway, gonna have a couple of other interesting videos come out. Planning on about 3 of them for the next week. I'm trying to increase my video put out just to keep everybody satisfied. So that's where I'm at. And Willie, call me.
we're going to probably get Willie here in a minute. That's my favorite color right now, Chico, is the Ford dark blue from Eastwood. It really coats good, and it's pretty color. I like it. I'd like to have a truck that color, but that's a different story. So I've got 3 sets of test loads loaded up that I got to get to the range and test and try to make a video of us. The last of the preliminary 35 Remington loads, my first set with the Mauser, and a set of 223 AR loads that I've got to test using tack ramshot tack rather. Any of you guys that have not used ramshot tack, I highly recommend it. It worked really good in the 35 Remington, and it's designed for your 223 and 308s. It's a very fine flake powder though, so you're probably gonna have to use your Lyman Brass Smith. Tomorrow I'll be doing my VR to Kyle and Lever Guns 5110 on the full tang knives, so y'all be watching for that. Hopefully I'll get to spend some time with the Scotsman and the Swede and Allenby Pro and all those guys Sunday night on foreign and domestic. Tomorrow night we'll be having the eyebrow chat with Uncle Jim. Hopefully I'll be able to join them. I'm going to the party store, Uncle Jim, and try to get me some eyebrows. Look, you can tell I need them. Other than that, I've got nothing going on. We'll see y'all back here again next Friday night, Lord willing, for our next Georgia Shooters Connection live stream. So we hit everybody?
Yeah, brother, I think we did.
Jerry 1911 says he's going to be doing a video on how to establish dope for your scope. That's going to be a good one. I have no idea. I'll be taking notes on that one. And for everybody on the side chat, thank y'all for joining us, and thank you for participating in the giveaway. Thanks all you guys that did VRs. Some of you did VRs and didn't even enter the drawing. I especially thank you. but the purpose was to draw attention to some of the smaller channels that need some attention, and I think we established that we were able to do that. I'm thankful for all my subscribers. I'm thankful for all you guys that come out here and support us on Friday nights. And with that, I think we'll say good night.
Night, everybody.
Night, guys and girls.
Night, folks. See y'all next Friday night. Bye.